The ones place. So if you're multiplying by 10, she said you can just add a 0 in the ones place. Okay, anybody else came up with another way? Christopher. Okay, you did distributive property. Explain that for us.
I broke the 10 up into 2 5s.
Okay.
And then I put 3 times 5 plus 3 times 5.
What are those little things I put on the ends? Parentheses. So he broke it up using distributive property. What'd you do from here?
I multiplied them. I got 15 for each one. Then I added those together.
Okay.
And I got 3.
Okay. Anybody come up with a different way? So we have one way. She just added a 0 in the ones place. This way we did distributive property. A different way. Terrence.
You can use 3 groups.
Okay, 3 groups. Tell me about that.
It's called equal groups, and when you put those 3 groups in there, you can draw 3 circles, and then you can put 10 in each circle.
So do you want me to write the number 10 or to draw something with 10 in here?
Draw something with 10.
Okay. Count for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, now what do I do?
You add 10 more in the next one.
Okay, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
And then you add 10 more in the last one.
All right, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now what did you do, Terrence?
And then I counted all of them up.
And what did that give you? So you counted each one of these? Okay, let's count them, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So what was your product?
It was
30. All right. So does anybody have a different way from what we've done? A different way. Yvette.
Repeated addition.
Repeated addition. What did you repeat?
I did 10 3 times.
10 3 times. Why did she do 10 3 times? David.
Because multiplication is just inverse operation.
Close. Inverse operation of multiplication is division. So why does she do, I think you're on the right track though, why does she do 10 3 times?
Because it's 3 groups of 10.
Because this is read as 3 groups of
10.
Okay, so let's see. She says she's doing 10 3 times. Let's see, this is 1 time, 2,
3.
so what would she do? 10 plus 10?
20.
Plus 10 more?
30.
Easy peasy?
Lemon squeezy.
All right, so we are done with our math talk. When you come to my group, we're going to discuss more about multiplication and the properties. So I want us to go over our I can statements, and then we're going to do a little activity, okay? Can everybody see over here? All right, let's read the top one on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I can apply properties of multiplication.
And the second one, 1, 2, 3.
I can add and subtract numbers within 1,000.
And the last one on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I can compare fractions by reasoning about their size.
Now, these should all sound pretty familiar, right? Why should they sound familiar? Why are these familiar, Mason?
Because we're reviewing.
We're reviewing. And what are we reviewing for?
The
Our milestones, right? We want to make sure we are ready and we have all the tools that we need. So we have to make sure we review and practice and apply what we've learned, right? So this might be a review, and you might say, Ms. Banks, this is super easy. I don't even want to do it. But you want to make sure that you're confident, right? and you make sure you know what you know, okay? So let's practice with a problem. Oops, sorry. And this is called PARC. This is a practice test, and this is what your questions might look like, okay? So what you're going to see on your test is you might see different types of questions. When we did the practice test, remember they showed us where we might have to select more than one answer? Yes? Do you remember? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, so what I want us to do is I want us to take our time. I want to read the question. Who can read it for me? To me, I read it loud and proud.
Which two statements can be represented by the expression 4 times 8?
4 times 8. What is the expression that we're looking at? 4 times 8. Caleb, make sure you're paying attention, okay? So let's read choice A. It says, a teacher puts 8 chairs at each of 4 tables. We have to see how many of these? How many of these are going to show us 4 times 8? 2. So we need to see which 2 will help us to represent 4 times 8. So when you see it, Ms. Banks, we reviewed earlier, it says 4 groups of 8. Okay, so you have to think about that situation. So A says the teacher puts 8 chairs at each of 4 tables. B, Tom buys 4 red markers and 8 black markers. C, Marie shares her 8 marbles equally among how many friends?
4.
4. Make sure you're paying attention, Islam. D says there are 4 rows of flowers. There are 8 flowers in each row. E, there are 8 ducks in the pond. Then 4 more ducks join them. So what I want you to do is I want you to talk about this with your burger and fries partner. Find them real quick. If they're not here, let me know. Come up here if they're not here. You too? You too? You can go over there. Quickly, so you were trying to decide which two of these answer choices goes to show 4 times 8. 4 times 8. How many statements are you selecting? 2. Okay, just making sure.
And then the first number of the equation is half base. The last number is how many stuff you put in 2. Oh, that's why what you do.
I like how Christopher and Islam are talking and explaining their answer. They're not just saying it's A, it's B, it's D. He's telling why he thinks what it is the answer choice that he gave. And then he asked his partner, what do you think? Now that sounds like somebody working together, doesn't it? Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds.
Why do you say B?
I think it's B because it says he has 4 red markers and he has 8 black markers. So it's like he's adding.
I hear some really good conversation. I'm counting down 15. Alrighty. All eyes on me?
All eyes on you.
Awesome. Okay, who would like to share one of their answer choices? Which choice did you come up with? Let's see. Yvette, go up.
A.
That's B.
Oh,
Click B.
I mean B.
Okay. Why did you click B? Why did you select B?
Because it says the expression is 4 times 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then on B
It also says the expression is 4 times 8 because if you had to find the answer out to that, you would have to multiply 4 times 8.
Do you think so? Thumbs up if you agree with Yvette. Thumbs down if you disagree. Who can tell? Caleb, why do you disagree with Yvette?
Because when I read the sentence, I kind of think that it's like adding because it doesn't have each or in each row
That
or
is
you
awesome.
can tell it.
That's awesome. Give him the razor of cheer. He used some key words that he knows. He said to him it reminds him of addition because it doesn't say something like each box or it's not telling you to share anything. So it kind of seems like it says Tom buys 4 red markers and 8 black markers. What do you think the question is? What do you think they're trying to find out?
4 plus 8 plus 4.
What question do you think they're trying to find out?
4 plus 8.
How many markers does Tom buy, right? How many markers does Tom buy? Does it tell you about any groups? No. It tells you that they have red and that they have blue, black, but they don't tell you how many is in each group. It doesn't tell you to figure out how many are in each group. It doesn't tell you to figure out how many is in a box. It just tells you he buys 4 red markers and he buys 8 black markers, okay? So would we keep this one? Would this one show us 4 times 8?
No.
No, not quite, but it's okay. Does anybody else want to try? Jonathan. Okay, why do you think so?
Because it says 8 chairs at each table, so there's 4 groups there's 4 groups are the tables, and then 8, and then 8 goes in the table, so exactly 4 times 8.
Okay, anybody, thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. What would that picture look like? Could you draw it over there really quick for us? I like how he said their tables are your groups, right? So how many tables are there?
4.
How many is at each table?
8.
8. 4 groups of
8.
8. So when you're showing us a picture to represent, what are your equal groups going to be?
The equal groups are going to be the table.
Okay, show us the tables. Okay, so how many tables does he need to have?
4.
4 tables. Does he have 4 tables?
Yes.
How many would be at each of his tables?
8.
Okay, make sure you show us. Make sure when you're showing your work, make sure you don't add anything. It's clear, so don't add any extra lines or anything so that when you're going back to check your work, that you can see what you're really trying to represent, okay? You should be watching to see if you agree or disagree. Okay, so now, once you show your picture, what should you do?
Make sure that you actually have 8.
Make sure, that's key, make sure you actually have 8 at each one. Let's count with him to see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Boom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good deal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So did he show us that
Yes.
correctly? He did. Good job. Give him the raise group cheer. Awesome job. I like how he explained it. I like how he showed us with a picture. Let's see. We have to have 2 statements. How many do we have so far? 1. Who can show us the last one? Who can show us the last? Tamia, go ahead. Remember, we are trying to represent what expression?
4 times 8.
4 times 8. Reading coach book. Okay. Go ahead, Tamia.
There are 4 rows of flowers. There are 8 flowers in each row.
Okay, so why does that represent 4 times 8?
Because there's 4 rows of 8 in 8 columns.
Okay, and what does that mean? How do we know that that's 4 times 8?
Because it has each.
Okay, but why isn't it 8 times 4? Can anybody explain that? Why is her answer correct?
Because that her answer is correct because like the first number in a multiplication problem is how many groups there are, and then the last number is how many things are in those groups.
Exactly. Isn't that correct? So if we have 4 times 8, how many rows are there going to be?
4.
How many is in each row?
8.
Boom. You guys have to be able to explain your mathematical thinking, okay? That's awesome. Did anybody get any